Most creators are terrified of being hated online, but here's the truth. If you are not hated, then you're not really loved either. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use rage baiting to grow your brand, attract loyal followers, and finally stop blending in. I've coached so much women to build a powerful brand online, and this single strategy, which is leaning into polarity, is what makes them unforgettable. And if you know you want to grow an unforgettable brand, I actually host free live masterclasses every single month where I answer questions live and I give you the full blueprint to monetizing your brand in a way that aligns with you. I don't know how long I'll be doing this, so if you want to register and save your spot now, you can click the link in the description to register. So what does rage baiting even mean, right? It's a big buzzword, but it is not trolling, okay? I want to make that clear. It is not trolling. It's not trying to provoke people for clicks. That's not what it's about. And I mean, most people would say, hey, it is. If you're rage baiting, that means you're provoking people. But the way that I am going to teach you and the way that I perceive it is totally different and is actually a very strategic branding mechanism that a lot of companies and personal brands use, okay? So true rage baiting is about strategic polarity. And polarity is basically like, hey, with every negative, there is a positive. That's why people say, hey, polar opposites attract. That's why magnets, they do not stick together unless it's a negative and positive. That is what polarity is. It's making your value so clear that the wrong people get mad. That is what it's about. Rage baiting strategically, and rage baiting strategically is just means you're being polarizing strategically. That means that it's making the wrong people that are not aligned with you upset. And I think a lot of people have been realizing this recently. And I just want to say, because I know recently we had a big wide news across the media where a amazing leader, Charlie Kirk, unfortunately passed away because he had such polarizing view. And the crazy part is he was a moderate conservative. He wasn't even like all the way to the right, okay? So that's the crazy part. But to people that were all the way on the left, very extreme, it's something that he was an extremist because it was so far away from their beliefs. And there are people that got so mad that unfortunately they did something evil to him. And that's the thing is, when you become polarizing, you are going to get hate. But you have to understand that we're going to talk about this next, but the law of polarity comes to play. And as deep as you allow people to love you is just as deep as, unfortunately, people are going to hate you. That comes with the game. But you also have to understand that is the beauty of life. There is no darkness without light, right? It's the same thing with hate, okay? Love and hate are the same emotion on a different side of the coin. It both comes from a place of passion, right? So you have to kind of think of it that way. And also your haters actually push you up because they're giving you attention. That's how social media works. It doesn't matter if they see it as a negative. They don't care if the comment's negative. It's still engagement, right? So the right people will feel deeply seen when you become more polarizing, when you tell those ugly truths, okay? In marketing, this is called creating the villain, creating the villain. And I know it's kind of crazy, but think about it like this. Like for me, I know the villains of my ideal audience and even of me. Like I know the villain of me is, hey, my limiting beliefs. That's a villain. I know that, hey, hustle culture. That's a villain to the things that I teach, right? And the people that I kind of are talking to, the women that I'm talking to, they're against hustle culture too. That is essentially a villain, right? The starving artist mindset of, hey, you have to go ahead and like be creative, but don't get nothing out of it. That's not what I'm about, right? So there is always a villain when it comes to building a brand, and a strategic brand, I should say. I'm not going to say every brand, but the brands that are massively impactful, that make moves, that cause movements, those are the brands that are willing to be polarizing, okay? That are willing to say, hey, I stand for this so that the other people that don't stand for it repel away from you. That is exactly what you want. The point of this is not to stir chaos and like stir the pot. It is to clarify where your brand stands. And like going back to the Charlie Kirk situation, is that so many people were like, oh my goodness, I lost so many followers from talking about, hey, that I don't condone violence against somebody that has opposing views. Even people that had opposing views were crying. People were so torn apart from this situation, and they're like, I'm not about this. I'm not about the violence against somebody talking about something. Free speech. I'm all about free speech, right? Even if I disagree with it. And there were people that were like, no, you should not be defending somebody like that. They're an awful person. And it's like, if somebody's saying something makes them an awful person, okay, but that doesn't mean you have to cause violence. There's people that don't agree with that, right? Are those people you really want to have around you? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people I've seen on threads, I've seen online, Instagram, people are like, if you do not agree with the fact that people should not be, having their lives taken away over speaking, then it's okay if you don't follow me. And that's what it's about. You didn't think that was polarizing. Like, a lot of people think their views are not polarizing, but that is. Like, literally talking about that, it's bringing a huge movement where people are kind of like losing the need to people please. I actually saw something on threads where it was like my need of people pleasing completely leaving every part of my body ever since this Charlie Kirk situation happened. And it's like, it's so true, because you don't mean to cause people anger, but you being on the other side, you being that I'm not for this, you standing your ground, that's what makes you polarizing. That's what makes you polarizing. From standing your ground and not letting anybody push you around, and not people pleasing, and not being like, oh my gosh, I need to make sure I don't talk about this. No, right? So that is the beauty of it. You're going to cause people to be angry because you're standing your ground. People on these other side, they're not going to want you to stand your ground, and they're going to be angry that you're standing your ground. But when you do it anyways, that technically is rage baiting, because you're making the other side completely angry, right? You're making like, people are angry, people are like, I'm not for it. Like, I'm just not for the online negativity. But anyways, why this is so important, guys, why this works, and why rage baiting is, works when it comes to creating a villain in marketing and all of that stuff, is because of the law of polarity. Like I said, to truly be loved, you must also be hated. Okay? Think about it. MLK, think about it. Gandhi, or even modern creators nowadays. Like, they all had as many critics as they had fans. As you start growing your platform more and more, it doesn't matter how absurd, quote unquote, or how controversial what you're saying is, you are going to have critics, and you're going to have people that don't like you, and you're going to have fans. And when you get into building your brand, when you get into being a creator, that's just part of the game. Now, the thing about this and the law of polarity is this. When you are actually okay with being, okay, I'm either going to be loved or going to be hated, you are not neutral. You are not neutral. And the thing is, neutral people and people that take neutral stances are forgettable. If you think about anybody that is really out there, like is really like big, they actually like took a stance in some point, whether it's about fashion, or whether it is about makeup, or whether it is about how they showed up, or the hot takes that they had. If you're neutral, you're going to be forgettable. Polarized people are the ones that are memorable, okay? That people actually remember them, okay? You will not be forgotten if you are polarizing and you say the uncomfortable truth. You say the things that your ideal audience is too scared to speak out on, okay? The best brands spark conversations, not indifference, okay? Think about it like this. The American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney, I have great genes, right? That whole thing, that sparked a conversation. Oh my gosh, is this. Oh my gosh, American Eagle is this. Like, oh my goodness, like, do you not get the ad? It was a play on words, okay? And the truth is like, yes, she's a blonde girl with blue eyes, but even if she has great genes, there's other people that of other races that have great genes. You do not have to look that deep into it. I thought that was pretty obvious for me, but it's not obvious for other people, okay? When brands spark conversations, that's when they're remembered. When People are willing to take bold moves and bold actions, like people like Charlie Kirk, people like Gandhi, people like MLK, people that are willing to be truth tellers, that are even like the uncomfortable truth. Because imagine like MLK, like how uncomfortable is it that you are in the time of like segregation, you are in the time of like, there are signs that say blacks only, whites only, and you decide to say something as bold as like, why don't we just come together? Like, people are like, oh my gosh. There's people that were enraged. There were people that were protesting against him. I mean, he got threats too. Like, people were shooting up his house. Rage. But he was also loved. And to this day, he is loved. To this day, his legacy is loved because he decided to be bold. He decided to be bold. And the thing is like, he is loved so much, even years and years and years and years and years after him, that even he got his own day because of how much people love him and how much honor his boldness brought to people. The best brands spark conversations, not indifference. When people are just like, okay, what she's saying is cool. I've heard it before. Okay, it's kind of cool. Like, okay, like people are just going to scroll away, move on. You're not rememberable. Be polarizing. The law of polarity does great things for you. It's going to attract the people that are really meant for you and repel all the people that's not. Okay. So going on, what division is actually good, because if you think about polarity, like, but Olivia, like, isn't it divisive? Aren't these people divisive? Like, people are like, oh my goodness, these people are so divisive. Guys, division is actually good. The time that we are in is bringing more division than ever, and it's actually a good thing. Let me tell you why. Division, I'm actually going to read it here so that I can accurately tell you guys. Division comes from the Latin word divina, meaning divine separation. Healthy division means discernment, okay? For example, hey, if you see that a guy, that you're on a date with a guy, he doesn't align with your beliefs, or maybe like he's just like, oh my goodness, like he's just not a good person. Let's say that, right? It's okay to have your discernment and be like, hey, I'm going to divide from this situation. Division, there is healthy division. There's a difference between healthy division and unhealthy division, okay? What division does is that it separates truth from just people projecting. It separates strength from weakness. It separates clarity, confusion. Division allows to separate good versus evil. So it's not division that's the problem. It's what do you do with the division that is the actual problem. For example, in brands, division is good for filtering. There's naturally people that you don't want to work with as a brand. There's people that you genuinely do not want to work with and do not align with you. That is okay. It reveals who's truly aligned and who is truly not. The most dangerous thing isn't the fact that things are divided. Division shows where people stand. And that's okay to stand in different places but still have peace. It's not division that is the problem. It's what do you do with the division? Does the division going all the way to the other extreme make it so bad that you want to cause harm onto other people, or that you lose your sense of morality, or you lose your sense of ethics? That is when division becomes dangerous. There is nothing wrong with division. There is something wrong when you take a division to an extreme and then you do negative, unethical, hurtful, poisonous, like disgusting things with that division. Okay. And I actually saw this video from this amazing girl. I love watching her videos because, again, she is so polarizing. And in that video, she was literally talking about like, there's nothing wrong with division. It actually comes from the word, like I said, a Latin word, divina. And the word actually, if you go deeper into it, means heaven-sent wisdom or God-like power. And divinity in actually ancient times meant divine separation, or separating the weak from the chaff, or the righteous from the wicked. You do not need to be religious or anything like that, but there is right or wrong. There's nothing wrong with dividing those two things. It's about what do you decide to do with that. And you have to understand, if you're coming from a point of polarity, you have a hot take, whatever that it is, there is going to be division in your comments. There is going to be people that agree. There is going to be people that don't agree. It's about what do you decide to keep doing with it, and what do they decide to do with it, right? And I think that at the end of the day, if your intention is to provide a positive message and to elevate the common collective, then that is what it's about. And I would say keep going. We need more truth tellers out there. We need more bold leaders out there. That's how revolutions are created. That's how movements are created. And I just want to say this, I'm sending all my love to the Kirk family and all my prayers to them. I think that, this opened a whole new gateway of truth tellers, of people that are done with people pleasing. People are shedding off the people pleasing like never before. People are being more bold. And that's what happens when we have one person that decides, I'm going to be bold for us. And unfortunately, it took something like a loss to understand that, hey, we can be bold too, and we can create an ongoing kind of domino effect to be bold together so that we can create and spread positive messages around the world. So I hope you guys got value from this video. If you have any questions, let me know. What do you think about this concept, about polarity, about rage baiting? You probably saw rage baiting a whole different way after this video, and that was my point in making this video. So make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, because I make more videos on how you can go ahead and get paid to exist, elevate your life, and also go ahead and just attract your dream life using femininity, creativity, and healthy habits. Okay, so make sure to subscribe, like, and also turn on post notifications, because I post videos like this every single week. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't yet, make sure to go ahead and register for my next free live masterclass. I'll be answering questions live. I'll be breaking down the roadmap so that you can start building a brand, and you can start being a truth teller. You can start being a brand leader. You can start being that bold person that I know is within you. So make sure to register, save your spot in the link below. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.